18 months on safe sleep. I think we need to remind everybody all the time what that is.
I think that has not been a part of this current rule set. What I can share with you, however, is that part of the ongoing work that we actually need to do as a part of the CCDF requirements is not only on the list of required health and safety trainings, is we need to have ongoing training available in those same health and safety issues. And so we're actually looking at other states that have developed different training to make those available, and safe sleep is definitely on our list to make available. I think that could be a conversation maybe in the future in terms of how frequently that needs to be taken. But within this set of rules, it's not a part of that frequency.
So Chair Miller, my request is that the next time we're looking at rules that we do talk about retraining or continued training on some issues, and safe sleep I would think is one of them. I know Kate, you've presented to us at Best Beginnings on safe sleep. I think it's something we have to do.
Teri? Just as Martha brings this up, I think one of my comments is when we talk about system alignment, we need to do a better job of educating the people who are consumers of childcare about safe sleep and about these other swaddling and all these other things, because we put childcare providers in a horrible position when parents are asking for a behavior that is not in the rules. And I think when we talk about system alignment, we can do so much at a community level. There's system alignment we need to do at this higher level about just really doing media campaigns and those sorts of things so that parents are not asking providers to do something that's not allowed in the rules because they believe that it's appropriate. I mean, I think about swaddling, and I saw the comment about they swaddle in the hospital. Well, swaddling's appropriate for very new infants, not infants up to a year old. And yes, we swaddle, and I can wrap a baby tighter than anybody, but it's a very initial thing, and it's kind of gotten out of hand about where it's appropriate. But we haven't done a good job of educating the public about what's appropriate. So I think we and systems, as you work in the governor's cabinet, can align better to do a better job.
Yeah.
Kate, do you have any comments on that?
I would say from the public health perspective, we over the years have done some campaigns, we have materials. Part of it is we just don't have the resources to go out and do a large social marketing campaign to educate, or social education campaign around safe sleep practices. And they have changed over the years. I mean, they're very clear right now what is and what isn't considered safe from the AAP. So I think that's our biggest constraint right now.
I just want to kind of add on and actually thank Oregon Health Authority, because part of the training that is being developed is actually how to talk to parents about why these safe sleep practices are important. And your colleagues have been really helpful in helping to review that and how to talk about that. So it's great if they're not to ask, but we do have that incorporated as a part of the safe sleep training, knowing that that is a tool that providers are going to need.
Oh, great. And really important point, Teri.
No, I was just going to echo that, because when I was talking about new rules, one of the providers said to me, well, that's all fine and good, but when are we going to teach parents what they need to know too? And so I think there was just like yes, I've had that general feeling given to me, like, I can be the bearer of this news to parents, but it would be better if it was reflected elsewhere and taught to them elsewhere as well, not just me telling them this.
Well, and on the swaddling, we've talked here about the difference between what a parent might want to do at home, their own home, versus what's going to happen at a care facility. So drawing that line or distinction as your licensors talk to caregivers who talk to parents.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are lots of different ways to talk about it.
I just wanted to thank everyone, the council members, for their really important comments on this, and Kate, and say that we should expect to see a strategy around this in the outline that's presented to you, I think, to wrestle with. I think some of the resource issues that Kate is talking about, but really how do we leverage the council and the new strategic plan across 5 years to really go kind of at a higher level, and to think about how do we make that a priority to begin to do some of the work that we know needs to happen about getting information. I know, Dawn, if you want to add, that licensing staff have been distributing, information on safe sleep proactively on all of their visits with providers of license exempt or regulated subsidy providers and licensed providers as they're doing their visits. So we're doing, and this required training is yet another, I think, kind of step forward around educating, I think, the caregivers of the early learning division through the licensing program has the ability to touch and give information to, but I think we completely recognize this is a clear cross-sector strategy and really requires, I think, more public health like strategies to be able to get the information out. So,
Well, and Chair Miller, I think the one and done process, we need to move beyond that, because, okay, everybody's had this training, or, safety training, sleep training, just check them all off and then we're done. And as Kate said, things have really changed in safe sleep, and they change all the time. I mean, what you did 2 or 3 years ago might not be appropriate today. So I think the continuing piece is something that we have to look at, to not just assume that once we've done it, it's done.
I just want to, if I can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Kelly.
I just want to second that really firmly, and I don't know how, I've asked this question before, how early childhood is connected to the professional development, the larger sort of professional development group that's being brought together. But that ongoing piece around training and professional development for early childhood providers is so important, because people will always default to what they know.